We're back. All right. Who wants to summarize what happened last week?
We
Killed
worked
him.
with a bunch of pissant Eldar, and
Killed people.
we absolutely slaughtered a shit ton of guards at the
The temple.
tomb of
Yeah.
their Eldar hero, because we came to an agreement. We don't give a shit about them collecting the soul stones, as long as they don't give a shit about us collecting our guy and getting out and completing our objectives. So they smorped the temple guards from like 200 clicks out while we dealt with the guys up front. It was a bloodbath. It was hilarious. That's most of it.
I was joking with Jeremy the other day that we should just have some like space elves snipe people off map because I'm bad at balancing encounters.
I could have off-screen space elves in every RPG encounter.
I think we were also headed back to the city. I guess you want to call it a city.
Well, you have successfully dealt with the temple guards and with your actual what's the dude's
Objective.
name? Yeah, but with the actual space
Yeah,
elder.
That's right.
Well,
We're
not
now
space elder.
heading back to town, except that the Kroot and the orcs that the Iron Wolves hired are on their way into the settlement, and I at least wanted to try to stop them from murdering everybody there.
Yeah. Also, where's our crazy guy on the river?
Otto. Well, he's still on the river where you left him, and he said he would wait for I think like 2 days for you to come back. Although you've only been gone for a few hours.
Yeah, we turns out Eldar can do work when they're not busy, like categorically betraying everybody.
I
My
mean,
question is, how
basically.
how long would it take these guys to get to the city?
Well, let's see. You were on the river for about
Like a day and a half?
it was like two and a half days. Um, actually, I don't think we literally did it every like 1-to-1 night that you were on. But yeah, so it was more than a day and a half. It was longer than 2 days.
Yeah, because I think we had like half a day, and then we did a night. I
Yeah,
was successful watching that night. Then we did another night, and I was
I
retarded
think
that night.
total it was about 3 days. Yeah, and then it's gonna be another 3 days back. They have to actually go through land.
So they're going through like forest, rainforest, and all this shit to get to the outpost.
Yep.
So it'll be slow, so we can probably get there ahead of them if we're going by boat. But then we either have to delve in and divert them into each other, or prepare a conventional defense of the settlement if we want to. And again, I'm an old guard member. I don't want to leave them to die.
All right.
Yeah, let's get auto, I guess.
Yeah. So let's see here, but yeah. So the Eldar you're working with is Idreleth. Idreleth. Yeah.
It was. I wrote it down.
But yeah, so he has secured your objective. You've made contact with Grey Owl.
You're left with me and Druth.
He also suggested we get the hell out of there because they're gonna bomb that place pretty soon.
Oh yeah, let's like get on the boat.
Oh yeah, that's right. But they were gonna blow up the tomb.
After they get their stuff, so yeah, we should haul ass.
Well, I don't think we have a big concern about that. We're already leaving.
I have no idea how big these detonations are, though.
For Eldar, they'll probably be less fancy than if the Imperium decided that they needed to control Z something. Because when the Imperium controls Z something, they do it from orbit.
Yeah.
The only way to be sure.
There are no survivors, I guess.
Just there, like the objective and everything in the immediate area, just to make sure.
Yeah, they just send the entire planet their condolences.
That's the team go-to. Condolences.
All right, so you just want to make your way to the boat then?
Yeah, let's make our way to the boat. Tell Otto we gotta get back stat.
Yeah, we got Grey Owl.
Okay.
Correct. He's gonna reinsert into the
Grey Wolves.
The Iron Wolves,
Iron
yeah.
Wolves, Grey Wolves.
All right, yeah. So you know the way back because you went through the jungle already, dealt with the patrol, so you're able to make your way back without too much trouble. Just make like a survival roll with like a +20, just to make sure you don't get absolutely lost.
Survival at +20 would be perception +10 for me. Perception +10, 64, 84. So I'm rolling against an 84 with the bonus.
Nice.
I make it.
Yeah. Okay. So Watchmaker is
Like
able.
moonwalk across the trail.
I don't even remember AC perception. Mine would have been
We have a swiggity swooty situation.
What was it? +20? Mine would have been like a 68, I think.
Are we trying to be sneaky? Because
You could if you'd like.
What up? Is it?
I feel like we're probably fine. Speed is probably better than caution at this point. Like, all the people who've been drawn to the fighting were probably drawn to the fighting.
What the? I'm
Okay.
totally confused about that one. Oh, I must have did something really off.
Well, either way, Watchmaker was able to like succeed on the roll, so he's able to guide you through. So, following the jungle path you had previously traveled on, you're able to make your way back. It was a few kilometers from the temple back to the river, but you do eventually see like the boat. As you are heading towards the boat, back the way the temple was, you see a kind of bright blue-white flash of light, and the black obelisks that were in the area, they just crumble into like a very fine, not as fine as dust, but they're like very fine rocks, completely destroyed.
Does the horrible fuckery Psyfield diminish?
The Psyfield had diminished when Idrilith had used the lock. Actually, no, it was even before that. It was when they had, when the Iron Wolves had managed to disable the actual security system. So as you were approaching the temple, it had lit up and disabled.
Gotcha.
So you don't notice any difference.
Oh yeah, Matt does have the. I mean, Watchmaker has the sword to contact what's his face too. If we ever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the psychically active
Yeah.
Eldar sword.
I did make it pretty clear to the guy, like, this is 100% not a trust thing, but
I think he said that was like.
He understood or some shit.
I think he actually said that was like. He respected you more for that or something to that effect.
yeah.
I don't recall the exact thing, but yeah. You made it clear you don't trust him. I think he made it clear he doesn't trust you so much.
That's prudent. We can just Mexican standoff every time we meet.
I guess you could. Well, we'll see. Let's see what happens. All right.
Yeah, this could either go really, really well or really fucking terribly.
There's nothing wrong with having Eldar friends until they kill you, because it will save one single Eldar 10,000 years in the future. But you are at the so you've reached the bank of the river, and you see the boat, and you have dragged the kind of little I don't know what they call it, like the inflatable boat, the Zodiac thing, onto land. So you've arrived to the location you were previously.
Let's look for Otto.
Well,
He's probably
are you
fishing.
alive?
Yeah, you're able to very easily see the boat where they had anchored it.
Good.
So if you want to, you can just jump on the little inflatable raft and just make your way back to the boat.
Yes.
Okay.
Way downtown.
Making our way downtown, walking fast.
Let's see here. Yeah, so you jump on the boat, guide it to Otto's ship without any real trouble, and manage to get back on board. And Otto comes down from the helm. I still don't remember what it's called.
The mast.
Yeah, well, wherever you like pilot these boats from. What happened? The buzzing just stopped all of a sudden.
We met the ghosts. They were the lesser of two evils for now. We should get back to the settlement. The orcs and the crude are coming.
All right, let's bring up the anchor then. Goes over, pulls up the anchor pretty quickly, puts it on board, gets back up and just kind of like starts the motor again and turns the boat around heading back upriver. Let's see here. So, yeah, from the make awareness rolls.
Okay.
Let's see. Where the heck is...
Awareness would be plus
Here it
10,
is.
so that's at a 64 for me.
10.
Hooray!
Okay, so you're rolling
8,
against.
I think.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna assume Guard Defil fails that awareness roll.
I perceive that there's a river here and a boat.
There's in fact a river and a boat.
My God.
Maybe some trees around you. You're just not sure. All right, but let's see here. So Watchmaker and Tigo both pass though. So, yeah. So Watchmaker, from the side of the river, as you're heading up the actual river, from the side that you had disembarked on and gone to the temple, you hear what sounds to be orcs. Kind of just like, well, really, you hear a very clear "Wah!"
Great.
Ian, is it the bridge? It just like hit me.
What? The bridge?
The bridge.
Yeah, I guess bridge is like the term, or helm. I don't know what they call it for like the small boat, like a smallish boat. But
It was bothering me and I was thinking about it.
I
Oh,
think
God.
bridge might work. But and Tigo, from the other side of the bank, or the other side of the river, separating you, you hear like chittering, clacking of what sounds like beaks, as well as the occasional fire of like an older style like black powder weapon.
Do you think we could draw their fire from the river and pull them both to the center and then let them meet each other when they come to fight us?
Are you asking Tigo, Gar?
I'm gonna ask Otto.
We could try and draw them. They sound to be close, but not too close. We'd have to draw them close to us somehow.
Well, we've got guns that make a lot of noise. We've got marksmen. We've got mobility. The question is whether we have enough to get away if we try it.
Well, I'll be ready with the boat for whatever you got.
Oh no, he's starting to sound more sane now that the buzzing has gone away. That's scary.
Yeah, Otto's gonna suddenly wonder what he's been doing for the last 30 years. It's like, as it all starts to become clear.
He's just gonna think like you're gonna get back and he's like, what the fuck have I been doing here?
Who are you people?
Well, you at least showed him you're part of the Inquisition, if I recall.
Yeah.
So, don't worry, you got that going for you. Really, you, unless you're a heretic, you won't deny the Inquisition. Mostly.
Mostly.
Well,
Well, if you guys are down to try to either slow them down or just get them to immediately start destroying each other right here, right now, let's see about making some noise and maybe firing out into them with the mounted bolters.
these would just be heavy stubbers, but
Heavy stubbers.
yeah. Yeah. So you would have like 180 degree from both sides with the turrets.
So you wanted fire in both directions?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
And then I can use my long las, and as soon as I get a view of something through the tree line, I can take a shot at it.
Fair enough.
Anybody else got any? You know, is this a terrible idea? Do we not want to do this? Do we want to do this?
The idea is we're gonna be driving the boat and shooting at the bad guys as they chase us.
Yep. Until we can get them into each other, because the idea is they will fight each other if we bring them in and shake the bug jar. So there'll either be delayed or severely weakened or out and out not attack the Imperial Guard post.
Well, we're
Yeah,
not-
attacking each other sounds like what we want.
Well, we're not gonna have to deal with the orcs unless they're gonna fucking swim to us. So we only really have to watch one side of the river.
How are we gonna make sure they get introduced?
Basically, they're each on one side of the river from us. We attack in the middle, out in both directions, and draw them over to the riverbanks where they will attack us, but they'll also run into each other.
Okay, here's hoping. Let's roll.
And
All
they're
right.
gonna swim toward each other and try.
Well, the Kroot can jump. The Kroot can hella jump.
Let's do it.
All right. Let the fucking commence.
Okay. So whoever wants to get on the different stubbers, go ahead. And then go and just make a ballistic skill check to just see how well you can shoot into the woods. I mean, you're going to be shooting into the jungle, but you have to shoot.
I'm assuming it'll be Gar and I since.
Yeah, and I'll
snipe
take my long las out, and I'll start sighting down. Let's say toward the orc bank.
Do I get a bonus on the ballistic since we heard like the general area that they're coming from?
We have the general idea, and you can hear there's a lot of them, but you can't actually see them. So this would just be this would be like a
Right.
ballistic skill test,
Straight.
like a standard attack. So it'll be like the +10.
Okay.
It's still
Add 10 to that.
it's
Look at
still
this.
3 degrees of failure for me.
Yeah, let's see here.
1 degree of failure.
So getting on the heavy stubbers, you're able to just kind of shoot into the jungle on both sides. The rounds kind of just like tear into the trees. You hear them striking rock, but you don't hear any difference in the you don't hear any difference like with the orc wah or anything from the other bank with the crew.
Shoot another round.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
and
shoot.
if I've got any sort of visibility, I'll take another shot with my long las and try to actually hit something.
Yeah, you currently are not able to see anything.
Okay. Can I try to place by sound where I could fire right into their midst?
Yeah, go ahead and make an awareness roll. It's going to be a little tougher because there's a lot of them, but they're kind of farther away from the river itself.
Yeah.
So go and make an awareness roll like a -10.
Okay, so for me that would be flat perception of, you think I would know this by now, 54. So, hooray!
Okay. All right, so get a general idea of where they are. Are you shooting into the orc side or the crew side?
I was going to say the orc side because the orcs are far less likely to ignore getting shot at.
Okay, so you're able to make a shot through the jungle. The round passes cleanly through the or actually no, this is just an awareness. So you're able to pinpoint more or less where they are, especially because it's a large group of orcs. So yeah, go ahead, make a ballistic skill test, and because you did well on the awareness, you would be able to make it without any penalties. So just make it as if you were shooting normally.
Okay, so I assume this doesn't have all the calculations for full aim and all that shit.
You could do like a full aim action
Oh, cool.
because you would know where they are more or less.
Okay, let me quickly pull up my scratch pad for the math.
Yeah.
Single shot is +10, +15, +20, +30 for the aim. 45 +55 from base. Cool. So. Nice.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll a D100 versus I believe 101.
Okay. So yeah,
51.
you're able to fire. Yeah. So now you're able to fire like the long last round, and you see it just pass through the jungle, not touching any of the trees beyond maybe some leaves or vines, and it just disappears into the jungle. And you hear a kind of orc shout from that round striking. And go ahead and make another awareness roll. This will just be a flat awareness, or like your regular awareness. So, oh, perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can very easily hear the wah starting to like shift from heading some 100, 200 meters from the bank of the river, and it starts shifting towards the river. But
Okay.
it's shifting like kind of like a beeline towards your previous location, so you are traveling away from where the orcs are heading.
Okay. So we got one side coming toward us. Now we need to,
The ballistics.
yeah, now we need to try to get the Kroot to come in on the other side.
But so the orcs are heading towards the bank of the river, but you're already past where they're
they'll
heading.
be going?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the orcs at least diverted. Let's see if we can go for the,
Damn.
nice.
Okay. So, Tigo, you're able to, after firing off several rounds with the heavy stubber into the jungle, you finally get a good round to actually go through the jungle into where you hear like the crew coming from. So yeah, go ahead and make just a standard awareness roll.
Okay. That should... Oh, that's right. I can't do that. Do. 100.
My condolences.
While you think you've hit them, you're not sure if they've been diverted towards you, or if they have been diverted, if they're even heading like in the proper direction. Maybe they're heading away from. Basically, you can't pinpoint where they are anymore.
Can I try to listen and also maybe fire into the Kroot side?
Yeah, I'll
you
shoot
can-
another one.
Yeah, you can keep doing that.
There you go. Gar, shoot more.
I'm shooting more.
So I will do
Cover my folly.
another awareness.
Okay.
That one I probably didn't make.
Yeah. You're just not sure. Did you? Was that was the awareness? The 79 was the awareness roll.
Yeah.
Did you want to shoot like your long lads into the?
Yeah, I'll try to shoot in. I'll actually. How thick is the tree line out here with the jungle? Is it like you can't see the sky?
Well, we did knock down a couple trees with our misses.
Oh yeah, like the stubber rounds would have passed through the trees and like blown apart trunks. The actual thickness of the leaf, like the branches and the leaves, yeah, like by the riverbank it's not as thick, but as you go deeper into the jungle, and not even like you have to go that much far deeper in, it becomes very thick, and you can see that it gets very dark and shadowed.
Okay.
Probably about like 20, 30 meters into the actual like jungle itself from the
Okay,
riverbank.
so firing, like, aiming high to try to show them a long shot from, like, over the treetops would be,
Futile.
wouldn't work. So, instead, I will try to kind of, using the stubber shots as brackets, try to kind of shoot in the middle of where they've been aiming.
Okay. Go ahead and make the ballistic skill test.
I also want to.
Ow, I'm going to fate that because that's a critical fail.
Okay.
That's better. That's much better.
Do we have anything that we can set the fucking trees on fire?
I mean, Gar has his flamer.
That would pull their attention. That's
Yeah,
for
that
darn
would
sure.
probably reach far enough to at least.
Yeah,
tickle
maybe
them.
torch as we pass, so there's a set of trees that are on fire to draw them over, not to
Alright.
us, but to the fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me. One more.
Yeah,
ballistic.
Gar.
A big fire would make them run away.
Oh, there we go.
Wow. Okay. So, we'll just start with Watchmaker. So, Watchmaker, you fire a long las into where you think the crew are, and you're pretty sure that the shot had like wound up in like the center of them, of where the group would be. And Chico, you're able to just fire off a burst from the heavy stubber on the ship, and you're almost certain it is dead center into where the group is. If you had to take a guess, you probably hit at least a couple of them, or at least near enough of them, so that they're aware they're being fired at.
Good.
They are pissed.
How's Otto doing?
Otto is got his like one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on like the lever, and has the ship just on full speed, and he's just kind of like pushing his palm against the lever that keeps like the ship speed up, even though he really doesn't have to.
And his third hand that we didn't know he had is on his heart because he's gonna have a heart attack.
Oh my god!
I guess once we go past the trees, Gar can set it on fire.
Yeah, Gar, what is the range on your flamer?
Pretty far from call.
It's pretty far. He set me on fire once.
Yeah, well,
like
I mean, who hasn't set you on fire once?
Mike actually.
no,
He just-
th-
not that far.
No, he just psionically pulped the entire party with a
Yeah.
fucking perils roll.
that was pretty
Yeah.
funny. What is
Fucking
it
ate
like?
my fate point, you motherfucker.
I think. Well, let's see. It's a standard flamer. I'm
Details,
pretty
details.
sure it's like
20.
Oh, it's 20 meters. Okay. So, actually, at this point, you're probably about 30 meters from either bank, though.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe
you-
we could get Otto to take us in a little closer to the crude side of the bank, and then fire, and then just go back to the center.
So
yeah, so if you go up to Otto, though, and you just want to tell him this plan to just bring him closer to the side, the croup side.
Yep.
Yeah, just so we can set some trees on fire.
once the trees are on fire, bucket.
I don't think that's a great idea. I'd much prefer to just stay in the center of the river.
All right, I'm gonna trust the expert then.
I mean, you could attempt to, like, persuade him or command him if you'd like.
I'll try.
I'm not very persuasive.
I
just
do
kill
have
people.
command trained, but it's not very high.
I'll command his ass. Otto, get me closer. I must burn the vegetation because reasons.
Go.
The
Okay.
God Emperor.
Go ahead and make a command roll.
The God Emperor demands the vegetation
That's
die.
That's gonna be versus fellowship 10, 20, 60, so it's a 73 against a 66. I will fade it.
Okay.
because why not? No, I don't have 410 fate points. That's not. It's not right. Character
That's some
sheet.
emperor shit right
To
there.
be fair, if Mike was here,
There
he would have just slept with Otto.
Entirely possible. All right, so you are able to just belt out that order to Otto, who, as Imperial Guard, is used to obeying orders, especially because you are members of the Inquisition. And so he just takes his hand off of the speed control and turns the wheel a little bit so that the boat ends up heading towards the cruise side of the river. So you are about 15 meters away from the edge of the bank now.
Okay. I'll start flamering stuff.
And so
And,
yeah,
I'll point out you want to aim kind of behind us more than to like ahead or to our side, so because we want to draw them to the flame, not to us.
Sure.
Cool.
all right. So Gar shoots out just huge swaths of promethium spreading across the woods. These trees are pretty damp, but at the same time, promethium itself burns pretty easily, and so it very quickly like gets into the trees and starts spreading throughout the forest without too much trouble. And you just see like huge plumes of smoke heading up through like the branches like of the tree into the sky, putting like probably columns of like smoke, probably several like at least a kilometer up before it eventually like the wind takes it away.
Cool.
So
Well, we
there's
created a disturbance here, no doubt.
Yeah.
Back to the middle, Otto.
and I'm going to just quickly.
Some good work, soldier.
Okay, so Otto has attempted to do a navigation or operate surface vehicle roll.
Can I help him with that?
Yes, go ahead and roll your operate surface vehicle.
Yeah, let me double check my ACE background because I'm technically a vehicle specialist.
Yep.
Let me just see what that is because it doesn't come up very often. Of course. Where are you?
I'm
There
lost.
we go. Okay, that was Hive World. Nope. Okay, that was. I get a plus 20 on Hive Worlds. That doesn't count. Roll bonus. Okay, that just lets me spend a fate point to automatically succeed with a certain number of degrees of success. Since I already spent a fate point, I'm not going to do that just yet.
Okay.
So I will just try a regular operate surface. Which is another thing I don't do very often. Also, it's in a weird place. Okay, operate surface is agility. I have it at plus 10, so my agility is 46. So I will roll against assuming no modifiers, a 46. Hooray!
All right.
Barely.
So Otto is struggling. Like the current and the river has some odd bits as it travels like past different rocks as the deepness of the river, and Otto's having trouble like trying to pull it back to the center. So Watchmaker, you come up and you're able to easily like just guide around some of the like the tougher bits of the current and able to get the ship back into the middle of the river. It gets a little touch and go as you're afraid, like at some point you're afraid you're gonna like strike the like get pulled into the bank of the river or strike some rocks, but you are able to get around it without too much trouble. And so with that, you are back in the center of the river. And all right, everyone, go ahead and make awareness rolls.
All right, and after I do that, I'm going to go top up my coffee real quick.
Okay.
Roll 100. I shall fate
Awareness. Let's see, my perception would be 64. Man, we're not rolling so hot.
Yeah.
You said you're fading yours?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you already
Maybe Otto can
did.
help.
No, I did it twice because it wasn't
Oh.
going through.
Yeah.
No, I did it twice because it wasn't going through.
Oh, okay.
99. So this one will be the fate one right here. I'm not gonna look.
35.
Yay! We didn't become died. All right, let me go get that
Okay.
coffee.
Okay.
And also maybe go make tinkles.
So Auto Watchmaker car is like, doesn't seem to be anything around. I guess we've managed to get ahead of them. And let's see here. So what's Tigo rolling against for his awareness?
I had to check my my scanner, so that's plus 20. Awareness is perception, and breaks even 58.
Okay, so with the scanner and just good old, eyeball 1.0, you're able to see some movement in the jungle. See on the scanner, now that it's closer, blobs of movement from the orc side of the bank. And like, it's a lot of movement there. And you do see some orcs break through the tree line about 100 meters back from where you were. And they are going to... Well, they actually see all the smoke. Thinking about it. Yeah, and they are able to see the boat. And you just hear them, you just yell, "There's some Umis to crop!"
Umis.
Umis. Yeah, the orcs are just like British soccer hooligans in space.
Did you see the gif of that's Jeremy, that's Gar burning all the fucking trees?
Yes,
Where is this?
very on point.
Is this in,
Also, I'm back. Thank you.
in Zoom?
Yeah, it's in Zoom.
Hold on 1 second.
That's how I picture him.
Yeah. Yep. Alright, let's see here. Very quickly, it's gonna go back. Okay.
So what about the other side?
let's take a quick old peek at this. Okay, I think that would, yeah. So 1 second, I just got to do something quick.
Take their time.
There, no, hold on a second.
Heard all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
So a round from the a slugger bolt strikes the back of the boat. And I think the boat's got lots of boat armor, but it does actually punch through like the armor that had been like put on the boat, and it's not below the waterline, but as the boat kind of like bobs up and down in the river, some water does spill in through the bolt hole into the back of the boat.
That shouldn't be a deal breaker.
No, we should probably get it repaired though.
We should also post up and be ready for
Angry things.
for lots of things, really.
Okay. So a few more slugger bolts get shot out from the orcs that arrived at the riverbank towards your boat. One of them just flies pretty close to the boat, but doesn't manage to hit. But 3 others strike the boat.
Oh.
Let's
Like
see
that.
here.
Leave the SS Gondola alone.
One rips right through under the waterline, and water starts just pouring into the boat.
Damn.
That went over really badly.
One of them manages to do a little bit of damage. It's above the hole, like the first hole, but it's still taking not enough. And the third round strikes the armor, but does not penetrate. But
Okay.
you currently have water pouring in through a little bit through one hole and a lot through another hole, as it just keeps like dumping in, and the boat starts to lose speed and the back is slowly sinking.
Let's fix that.
Okay.
What's our how do we do that?
So
Is that operator? Survival?
Well, there's a few different ways you could fix it. So just go ahead and tell me how you would attempt to fix it. Well, who would be going down underneath to actually go and fix that, and how you would attempt to actually fix it, and I'll decide like what skill it would use. Or we can discuss like what skill you want to do and how.
I'm good at fixing things.
I mean, I could use survival, just the stuff that we have there to like plug up the hole.
Okay.
It's literally surviving. It's kind of like if you got attacked by pirates.
I could let's see. Probably not tech use. This is probably a little low end for that, but what else have I got that makes sense? Maybe navigate surface? Unless tech use would apply to like some sort of, suppose this is like modern, well, air quotes modern day tech, when they've got like some inflating sealant foam that you can use to quickly plug a hole.
There would be some like repair equipment around, and so yeah, Tigo, go ahead and roll like Tigo want to use like survival.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll like your survival.
Roll expanding foam.
Yes, my expanding foam skill check.
Alright, roll 100. I mean, it's gonna pass, but I'm just.
What's it against? The 50 something?
I'm checking. Let's see. That's 10. That's another. It's 10 per check mark after, right?
Well, what's your survival?
It's 3 ticks.
Oh yeah, so three
Zero
checks
and
is
then
yeah.
10.
So it's
Yeah,
10.
so
So it's plus 20
Plus 20. Yep.
on a 58.
Okay. So Chico, you're able to just find some like basic repair material, and more or less MacGyver a fix to plug up the hole and keep it in place. And Watchmaker, you do find some actual like repair equipment. So if you wanted to, you could roll like a tech use at a -10 to try and fix it, and
It's
just
not
patch.
great, but I'll try it.
Yeah, just patch up what like Tigo has already done.
Yeah, let's see. My tech use is intelligence, so intelligence -10 would be ouch, 21. Well, it's worth a try.
I thought you were pretty well trained in tech use though.
I'm curious
Plus your other stuff.
why does tech use also have agility as a rolling like thing in a drop down?
There might be some weird corner case for like
Yeah.
a certain ability.
I think it's like tech use if you're attempting to like disarm a bomb or something where you need to like
Okay.
fit your
Oh, you
fingers
have to be
in.
dexterous.
Yeah.
Boy, that would
Okay.
be nice because my intelligence is way lower than my agility.
I mean, I guess
anyway.
if you wanted to.
So
No,
maybe it's
this I
because-
get this would be a case of you attempting to like know how to apply it properly.
Hey, we did it.
All right.
somehow.
And so yeah, you're able to basically find some, as you thought, some sealing foam, and with Tigo's MacGyver's patchwork, and you would know how to apply it. That you want to actually apply it from like bottom to top, and how to do it in a way where it like has time to expand and seal and dry. So you're able to do that and patch up the slugga hole below deck without any real trouble, and you're pretty confident it's going to hold.
Good.
So let's see. So now the back of the ship still pretty. It didn't fill up too much. It's probably got in about 20 gallons of water before you were able to get below deck, gather the supplies, and slap it in place to keep it going. So the bottom of the deck is down a little bit.
Anything to pump the water out?
There are no like pumps, but there are buckets.
How big are these buckets?
They are your standard kind of like pail that you'd expect, like metal bucket with the handle on top. So about yay high, could hold a few gallons each.
So do we need to start bailing?
That's what I was thinking. Start bailing, at least
I
get.
would say if they're too far away for you guys to effectively hit with your weapons, maybe you guys bail, and I'll either get on a mounted gun or I'll snipe to make sure they can't put new holes in it.
Yeah, so they are about 100 meters. Actually, about this point, they're about. Well, they're trailing the boat as best they can, so they're about 120 meters away from you currently.
We'll start bailing.
Just keep bailing.
Sounds good to
just
me.
keep
All
bailing.
right, go ahead and just make like. So both Tigo and Gar are bailing. Go ahead and make strength rolls.
Any bonus?
Are you carrying the buckets together, or are you just each individually using a bucket?
Each individual, I think.
Probably more efficient to bail
Bucket
separate.
brigade it.
Yeah, we can bucket brigade it.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, we'll pass the buckets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're daisy chaining it, so to speak. Yeah. So, yeah, this would just be strength rolls. At like a +10.
That would make it then.
Okay, did I like slip or something? I'll fade that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, there is water everywhere.
Phew,
Hey,
Actually-
you made it.
Okay.
barely. How the hell did my strength get so high?
I mean, I think even dumping points into it, you get the
Oh
bonus.
yeah, I did dump. But it's just surprising how fast it adds up.
All right.
Very swiftly does in a percentage-based system, yeah.
Guards, and yeah, did Gar add the +10 to the strength
I don't think he did.
for a
I did not, so that would just.
So 51 versus 53, and 61 versus, wow, that's actually really close. So working together, you're able to quickly, Gar's able to scoop up the water in the bucket, hand it to Tigo. Tigo dumps it off the side and just keeps going through it. And eventually you're able to get it at least enough of the water out that it's not
It's not
affecting
capsizing?
the. Yeah, it's not affecting the boat. I mean, there wasn't tons of water. It was slowing the boat down a little bit and dropping the bottom down a bit. I said about 20 gallons. It was probably more than that in order to affect the boat in such a way, but you are able to get the water out. And Watchmaker, you are 120 meters away from the orcs you can see.
Okay, that's well within my shooty sniper range with the long las.
All right, so you want to use the long las. So go ahead and so you can currently see about 4 of them.
Okay, which one has the best looking shooter? The one that probably did the most damage, or do they all look capable?
They all, well, go ahead and make an awareness roll to see, because you're like so far away, you'd have to take a look.
All right, my awareness would be, come on, brain. Perception plus 10 is
you have a scanner
64.
too?
64?
With no bonuses, yeah. But if I could use my long las scope.
I would say, yeah, because you have the long last scope, I would say, yeah, probably a plus 10, so I would say it'd be like 74, so roll 70 versus 74. They all look to just be like standard orc boys. Probably would have fought them previously, or, well, fought orcs previously.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So they are about the same size. I mean, there's no more than a foot difference between all of them. They stand about 7 feet tall, and so they have a kind of crude-looking slugga in one hand and a choppa in the other hand. So you don't see a huge difference between any of them. None of them look like they're huge. None of them look like they're... Actually, I guess it is what it's called, ooge.
I was thinking less the orcs themselves and more the best-looking gun.
For the guns themselves, they look pretty patchwork together from just like scrap metal they found or had been given by the Iron Wolves, as well as a bit of like wood and vine kind of wrapping it around and keeping it together.
Gotcha.
You're entirely surprised that it works.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They probably are too.
No, they know it works. That's how it works.
Yeah, that is how orcs works.
That Stampa used...
The Killacan.
The Killacan. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
You're like, how the fuck is that staying together?
Well, if Dr. Wily can make a woodman, the orcs can make a fucking log Killacan. Anyway, I will look for and draw a bead on one of the orcs, since they're all kind of the same, and just try a shot.
Okay, so just you'll be aiming at the one front of
I
the
assume
pack.
half action aim because we're kind of in turn order.
Yeah, this is more not necessarily like an actual fight, but yeah, if you wanted to like do it within a 6-second period, you could do the half action aim.
Yeah, so I'll do a half aim and a shot.
Okay.
So that should give me rolling the dice. What the heck? Okay, that would barely pass against plus 45.
Okay, so it would be shooting against 95?
I think that actually might just pass on the dot. 46 plus 45. Yeah, 91. I literally just hit it.
That's hilarious. Wow. Okay, so in the 19, that would put it at the...
Dang it, roll 20. Get your shit together.
I think that'd be in the arm. Yes, that would be in the arm.
I've got a left leg, I think, for it. Oh, right, 19. Yeah, right arm. Maybe I shot his gun. I won't do any of the bonus aim damage because I didn't get enough degrees of success, but I did hit.
So, yeah, you strike... so what damage would you do?
That would be 1d10 plus 5, pen 1, and it's got felling 4, so it'll ignore the orc's unnatural toughness up to 4.
Okay.
So I will roll 1 damage shot.
8 pen 1 to the right arm.
And it ignores 4 unnatural toughness. Probably still doesn't do fuck all if he's got any armor.
You do actually do damage. Like, you do see the shot cut into the orc's arm.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see a bit of, like, smoke and blood and bits of, like, burning cloth pop up from, like, the wound, and the orc kind of, like, oh, this Obi's got a little boy! Whoa! And the orcs pick up pace, and you start hearing more orcs being drawn towards the orc who's been shouting.
Okay.
Now, you are faster than them because they're only on foot. But, yeah, more and more orcs are, like, being drawn. Like, you hear the more loud wah, just heading towards the bank of the river.
How's the Kroot side looking?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Go ahead and make awareness to reestablish an idea of how the Kroot side is going, especially with the fire that you had started.
Yeah, hopefully well. Ba-da-bum.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to.
Perception plus 10. Okay, so that would be versus 64. Also, that worked.
Yep. Okay. So.
Yeah, and that would be against a 58.
You do hear the crew who are they're definitely more stealthy than the orcs, but they are not attempting to move with stealth from your limited experience with them. So, but you do hear them coming. You hear like the pop of their black powder weaponry, probably as they're engaging some of the forest flora or fauna, and you hear it traveling more towards the bank of the river, and you are pretty sure they're heading maybe around the fire, but it's definitely more towards the river and more north of the fire. So they are actually relatively close to the boat itself. Still probably about 100 meters away from your boat.
Okay, well, it's working. Let's see if we can get him to pick up the pace. Run right into that Orqua.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, so how would you like to try anything to maybe like get them to run into one another a little sooner?
Yeah, this is kind of some fucking Wuxia bullshit, but can I take a full aim with my long las, wait for an orc about to pull the trigger on his shooter, and shoot him in the arm such that it deflects the shot over towards the Kroot?
Yeah, you're gonna take like probably a shoot. Okay, it's gonna be an aimed shot, but you don't take any penalties for that.
Yeah, a called shot, and I'll do a full aim. Like, I'm definitely going to try to maximize my bonuses for this one.
All right, so you're gonna have to make. Okay, so this is gonna be like an awareness roll. It would still be at like your awareness plus 10 because you can see through the scope. But you're gonna want to see when they're aiming towards you, and then you're gonna do that awareness roll to see if you can identify when he's about to shoot.
Okay. Hey!
And you have like you're able to get a pretty good idea because they are like kind of like aiming towards the boat and are preparing to like shoot the gun. So go ahead, and now this is gonna be a tougher one. It's gonna be like this is gonna be your ballistic skill at a negative 20 to see if you can strike the arm. Like you know exactly when to pull the trigger, and you're shooting like something that goes the speed of light.
Yep.
So there's no real delay you have to worry about, but you have to shoot it at the exact spot in the arm
right
to
point
be like
at the right moment. So
yeah, you have to
fortunately
like.
with a full aim. Hey!
And you are able to make a shot on the orc's arm enough that he winces and kind of like loses his aim, and it like the arm kind of like twitches over to the other side of the riverbank, and he is going to shoot. The bullet does travel over to the other side of the riverbank. You're not sure if it actually hits anything, but it definitely is going over into like the Kroot territory towards the actual Kroot army. You can hear.
I'm calling it for fucking honorary Eldar with this wizard shit sniping.
And
so yeah, my idea is rather than put long las shots into the Kroot because they're a little smarter than orcs, put the long las shots into the orcs to try to divert their fire into the Kroot, so the Kroot know they're getting shot at by sluggers. You know what I mean? Or by shooters.
They know that that's an orc weapon.
Yeah, that's my goal, which is a little lofty, admittedly, but also.
So, you hear one of the Kroot rifles, the loud crack of it, and it shoots out and strikes an orc. The orc you had actually shot in his torso.
Nice.
It doesn't kill him, but it definitely, like, you see like the round just like punch through, and just like a huge splash of blood and bone and muscle come out of the wound, and the orc just like kind of like tilts forward a bit and then gets back up and starts aiming towards like he doesn't see the crew, but he aims towards the bank of the river where it came from and starts like just shooting the slugga like madly into the other side, like daka 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 daka.
Yes, perfect.
Seems to be going well.
According to plan, other than the sinking boat.
It's not currently sinking. Well, actually, you only fixed one of the holes, but you fixed the worst of the holes.
Only sinking a little bit.
Yeah, that's like some water still dumps into like the boat, and for reasons you'll never quite understand, it has like carpeting underneath, so it just dips into the carpet.
That's definitely a gone mad from the jungle kind of move.
Yeah.
Otto just like flashback to Otto like 5 years ago. It's like, I need to put carpet in this boat, and I don't know why.
But I have to. Put carpeting in this boat. Why? You gotta.
Carpet everything.
The God Emperor demands the carpet.
The carpet must match the drapes.
Thinking about it, it does. They're both like this kind of like navy blue. In a previous life, Otto, before being drafted, was an interior decorator. Let's see here. So, you have, and actually, you know what? I'm going to make a roll about this. Yeah. Yeah, so the orc shoots into the jungle where he had been shot, and you hear like a crew kind of like actually
Squawk?
Yeah, just squawk from like the slug around. Like one of the slug arounds managed to strike it, and just like the kind of loud, long kind of howl of pain from it. And suddenly more crew rifle rounds just crack out of the jungle towards the orcs. And more orcs are arriving at their bank of the river, and more crew you can finally see pushing through like the jungle are like taking aim at the orcs.
Excellent.
And so let's see. So the rounds aren't striking. Like the crew are shooting at the orc are shooting at the crew, and none of the rounds are now really hitting any of the other ones, but they are of like shooting at one another more aggressively, and have actually stopped shooting at you and are now like just not even really following you, more interested in one or the other.
Nice.
And you do eventually, like, from the jungle bursts out the wooden Killican.
Yes!
And just starts using like little, like kind of, what do you have? It has like a hammer on like for one hand, and it just has like, you see Gretchen just like manning these like wooden ballista and like tiny wooden catapults, and are just like shooting this at the crew on the other side. And
I love it. I love it.
Are not striking any of them. Like the rounds are just like going into the jungle. But the Killican starts to just like wade into the water of the river, and is just heading towards the crew, who are somehow missing the Killican.
It's like the fucking Tombstone scene with Wyatt Earp crossing the river. No! 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 I love this fucking game.
And just two orcs is like, you ever see anything like that? He's like, I'm seeing it right now. And out, you just see like a large orc knob just come out and look, we're gonna crop these biggies. These beaky boys.
Biggies.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
I don't know what an orc would call a crew. I don't know if any like the books if Orc and Kroot have ever done battle with one another.
I'm sure they have.
They have now.
They have now.
Fucking B-Geese.
Achievement unlocked. Started a new war in the fucking 40k universe.
Bathroom break for you guys.
Okay.
I'm so pleased. That worked way better than it should have.
It was both. It was a combination of, on your part, really good rolls, and on the enemy part, bad rolls for their like objective, but good rolls for like you trying to manipulate them into fighting one another.
Yes.
Like the actual shots to shoot the orc and for the orc, like the Kroot to shoot the orc and the orc to shoot the Kroot were like critical successes. It was like what I wish they had done when they were fighting you.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy with this. Well, I'm having a good time.
from as you like head down the river and you go around the various bends of the river so that you're out of sight, you just hear the fighting just increase like more and more.
Oh, I gotta see if I can find this one Doom comic.
And they're just more it's just more and more like shouts from the orcs. That's really like even more than the guns because it's all in like unison. You hear like the orc wah, and you like, but you definitely hear like the Kroot rifles firing more and more, and the orc sluggish firing, and eventually you do end up hearing like hand-to-hand combat as the orcs have, like the Killican has crossed the river, which is especially funny because the Killican, while tall, is not as tall as the river, so it had to submerge and then come out the other side, like that scene in Westworld where Yul Brynner has to like cross the river.
I'm trying to find this one comic I saw a long time ago. It's like, it's Doom Guy. Like, this is like pre the new Dooms. Looking out the window and just seeing a whole fucking shit ton of monsters, like just hundreds of them. So he just fires 2 rounds from his pistol from behind the glass, and that sets off all the monsters to throw attacks. And then they start infighting, and he's just watching through the window as they tear each other apart. He's just like, this must be how Hitler felt.
Actually, considering you're fighting demons in space, Doomguy probably killed Hitler again.
He probably did.
I mean, he had to kill so many demons they kicked him out of hell. But then he found his rabbit. That's right. Doomguy had a pet rabbit.
He did. That's his motivation.
Alright. Let's see here. So, the fighting is, you hear the signs of the fighting is dying away as you're like several hours pass, and it gets dark as the sun is going down. And Otto is just on the bridge of the ship, just yells down to you guys, I don't want to move the ship upriver while it's dark, but I don't want to stop while we have those orcs and Kroot behind us. What do you think?
What kind of dangers are there if we keep going?
We could hit rocks. We could get attacked by more of the hive guard, the local insect population. In fact, with the orcs and the Kroot fighting, that might be driving the insects further away from us or even towards us. I definitely don't want to hit any rocks and have us capsize.
That would be ungood. Alright, do we have lights, or would that draw way more attention than we want?
We have lights. The jungle is thick enough that you probably shouldn't see a light through it, but if you're at the bank of the river, they'll definitely see the lights. And the bugs will see the lights too.
Okay. Like fucking moths is what it is. Well, we know-
No,
we know the-
visibility.
Sorry,
How
go
good
ahead.
is it? No, it's just like visibility. How good is it? Could we have 2 people and watch?
Yeah, you could have multiple people on watch.
No, I'm just saying for the front of the boat, so we could see rocks and stuff ahead of time.
So visibility wise, there's like thick cloud coverage that is covering. Actually, yeah, there really isn't like even like a moon to like reflect like sunlight off of. So really, it is pitch black, except for like there's lights on the heavy stubbers. So there's a light on the front and the back of the boat.
Hold up. I'm checking something.
And it would be about a 30 degree yeah, so it would be a 30 degree like cone of light, so you would have to constantly sweep it across the river one way and back to see the entirety of it.
I have photo visors.
That gives you night vision.
Yep, I can stay watch.
Okay, what do the photovisors do exactly? They give you like dark vision.
See in the dark. That's what it says.
Here,
I was thinking like
dark sight trait. I just have to
would
very
this-
quickly.
yeah, would this qualify here? I think it would, but I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see, 135 on the main book. 1 second. I just want to see if it gives a specific range. Let's see here. Dark sight. Here we are. Oh, yep. You see normally in areas of total darkness and never take a penalty for fighting in an area of dimmer. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you put on the photovisors and the night is lit up as clear as if it was day.
Nice.
Just maybe a little overcast, but not anything that would actually affect your vision.
All right. And I can we can share this through the while we do rounds, right? If we did rounds.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could just pass off your photovisor to somebody else.
All right. So I guess I can get the first round if Otto is cool with this, which I think he will be.
So you want me to keep piloting the ship?
Yep, and we'll keep watch.
Okay. Make sure to point out any rocks. Be careful. There's some just below the surface.
And my question now is this going to be a constant awareness check?
So this would be probably once every hour. So we'll say like 8. Yeah. So we're going to do an extended test. So just make 8 awareness rolls.
Oh God, it's going to take a while. Roll. Come on, type. D100.
Yeah, I mean you can just hit. You'll be able to hit up to like.
I'll beat that one.
That 96. Okay.
We get to it.
All right. Wow. Okay. So let's see here. So.
Is that 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm skipping the 96. Or do you want to count that 96 and then just?
We'll fade it when we get to it.
Okay. So. But yeah, so including the 96, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So you'd have to roll
7, 8.
Okay.
And this will be for the 96. Whatever, it's still better.
What's your awareness?
It's it breaks even, so it's a 58.
Okay.
With my scanner. I think. Let me.
Yeah, the scanner would definitely be able to scan for like rocks and the like. So.
58. My intelligence isn't higher. Yeah, it's a 58.
Okay, so let's take a look here. So we're ignoring the 96. So degree of failure. But then you have massive degrees of success with the 11. So 2 degrees of failure and then 6 degrees. No, that would be so. Hold on. Pass.
What's scaring me is the high rolls.
Hold on. Let me just make that 58. No, so 5 degrees of success, 6 degrees of success. You have enough degrees of success versus degrees of failure. Yeah. even with those last two, you have so many more degrees of success versus degrees of failure that I'm going to say you are able to spot where all of the rocks are.
Nice.
Versus, I mean, it's a lot. It's like 15 degrees of success versus I think like 6 degrees of failure. I'm just kind of like eyeballing it really quick.
That critical success was very
It's
helpful.
like, actually, it's more like 8, but yeah, so you are able to spot where the rocks are. All right, let's see here. Otto, however, now this is also okay. 2, 3.
Put the moonshine down, Otto.
Let the boy have his drink. He's had a bad
Life.
everything.
How many was that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Otto is able. You're able to guide Otto mostly past the rocks, but he's not able to see the rocks exactly, and he's getting tired as he's piloting this boat. And eventually, he does strike one of the rocks. And it cuts a nice chunk of the hull, leaving about a 2-meter long cut, relatively thin. Like the water is seeping into the boat, and it's starting. So on the right side, so it's starting to list to the right as the water is filling the boat rather quickly.
Oh, you were a good boat.
I think we could save it.
Time to save.
So,
All right, survival.
well, you do have like some
supplies.
you have supplies. So Tigo, you know where like the supplies are for like fixing, like doing your very like ad hoc fix, as well as Watchmaker knowing where like the foam,
The rescue supplies are.
Yeah, like the foam is. So this would probably be
furiously.
And then it's definitely like taking tons of water in it.
All right, and do we need to roll, or we just?
You definitely need to roll, yeah.
All right. I'll do survival this time.
I will. This is my last fate.
Okay. Okay. So that's.
Never mind. We're good.
Well, you have to do a few.
Okay. Then I will try my survival. Oh, I did it by the skill instead of.
Yeah. One day we'll be back to how it was.
That'll be perception plus 10, so versus 64. So rolling it now. Yay!
Okay. So you're able to take like some of the wood and some of the like the foam, like ceiling foam, and not really apply it properly, but enough that you're able to like put the wood onto like the cuts and seal it with the foam enough that the water's no longer pouring in. Now it's probably taken a lot of water. It's the boat is definitely like listing to the right. It is slowed down a lot, and you are knee deep in water around where the cut to the hull was.
Can you guys bucket while I look to see if we have like a hand pump or something we could hose it out over the side with?
Buckets.
That was your weapon skill? Do you want to do strength? Although I guess it's no, they're not the same.
He would still. I think he would still pass. He would still pass.
So, yeah.
Guard dual wielding buckets, just like.
That's 53. I don't know if we're getting the bonus.
Well, Gar rolled a 36 versus 43, succeeds, and Tigo does 34 versus 63. So you're able to once again daisy chain a lot of the water out of the boat and over the side. And Watchmaker, if you wanted to, you could make.
Roll for bilge pump.
Build the pump.
So this would not be awareness. This would be more like. Is there like an investigation? I think it's like screw. What is it?
Could I try like a tech use using agility to like say I take one of those canisters that had the inflating foam and then use that as like the body of the pump, and then just put something through it so it creates suction? You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have the pump yet. You have to.
Yeah, I'm trying to MacGyver it.
Yeah. I can't think of a way that would really work here. If you wanted to, though, you could do. If you take like the time to search around for the pump, you could do like an awareness roll with like a +10 added to it.
I will try that.
Okay.
Oh wait, I almost did the manual roll again. Okay, perception +20, 74 will be my target with the bonus. Okay.
You're able to very easily find the pump.
If I were a pump, where would I be?
In Otto's cabin.
Otto has kept the pump in a clearly marked spot. This is emergency bilge pump.
Emergency hit the rock pump.
Prime forward thinking.
And you are able to plop it. So it is a long hose with the pump attached to like the center of it, and you're able to put one end of the hose, the intake, into the water, and the other end over the side of the boat. And actually, I think it's probably just had a little motor, so you just flip on the motor and it just starts draining the water right away.
Nice.
And after just a few minutes, the boat is as dry as it could be. Otto is going to... He's going to yell down to you, Watchmaker. Can you pilot the boat for a second? I want to take a look at the damage.
Understood. And I'll go to pilot the boat.
Okay. He heads down. And he's under the deck for a few minutes. Probably about, yeah, so he's underneath for about 10, 15 minutes. He comes up. He's like, well, he did good emergency repair, but it's not gonna hold. We're gonna have to stop, and we're gonna have to really we're gonna have to fix that up where it's dry. If we stop the boat and bring it closer to shore, we might be able to... yeah, we'll have to bring it in the dock. But that's going to hold for maybe another few hours.
How far out are we?
You have to go through one more... Yeah, so you're about a day and a half out from returning back to Otto's dock.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can find while we've got a little bit of lead time. If we have a few hours before there's going to be a problem, we can spend that making a plan to do a somewhat more orderly repair, think of a good place, and get the materials.
Okay.
So, at this point, it is... sun comes up over the horizon, and you have daylight again.
Rare.
Otto is going to head below deck and try and catch some sleep, so he's going to leave Watchmaker to pilot the boat.
Full speed ahead, Captain.
So you have
a day and a half just turned to a 12-hour trek.
The boat's been going as quickly as it can so far.
We jerry-rigged some fucking propulsion systems on it.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could certainly attempt to tinker with the engine.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
You'd have to turn it off, but...
Let's not do that.
No, I guess you wouldn't even have to turn it off thinking about it.
The question is, are we going to stop when we find a decent spot?
That is a worthwhile question.
And also if we are in danger of getting attacked while we do that, because like we don't know if they're still moving upstream, right? Or downstream?
They would be heading upstream towards the settlement. The same way.
Definitely slowed them down and probably thin their ranks a good bit. But yeah.
Then would they stop fighting at night to like make camp, or would they just keep marching?
Well, you're not sure.
Based on previous knowledge.
You can be sure they definitely did something last night.
You could do a Scholastic Lore, Imperial Guard, or Forbidden Lore Xenos. Or if you can think of an idea of a skill that might help you identify like what the behavior of the crew and the orc would be, you could determine if they had.
Could I try Common Lore Imperial Guard, because I believe I fought orcs in the guard?
You could do Common Lore Imperial Guard at a -20, because this would not necessarily be like something every Imperial Guardsman would hear, but it might be something that had been passed down like the grapevine.
Yeah, that wouldn't really be worth it for me, because at -20 I'd be rolling for an 11.
You can certainly try. It's not going to hurt.
I guess. So I'll try. This is versus 11.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not sure. You fought orcs, but whenever you had actually fought orcs, you were in the artillery, and you really had been like 20 kilometers from the actual fighting. And you'd always like left, you had been like, your time in like the artillery you had left and then come back after being replaced by other artillerymen. But so you're not sure what the orcs would do.
Damn.
I guess we can stay watch while repairs happen.
Otto, fix this boat. Your god commands you.
He's asleep currently.
Yeah, he
had
been up for about 20 hours piloting the boat.
And he's not insane anymore?
Yes.
Well,
let's not go too far.
He's not 100% committed into insanity anymore? Maybe 95?
Yeah, we'll say he's dialed the insanity back a little bit.
Just a little bit. We may accidentally give this guy his life back by exploiting him at every turn.
Do you think the boat would last until he wakes up so we can pull over?
He said it would last a few hours.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
I'll look for spare materials and look at maybe if we have to the material of the trees in case we need to like power sword some down and use those to erect some like scaffolds or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to do that? Do you want to actually like pull the boat over and then like take the little inflatable to the inspect the trees in person?
I mean, I can take a look like while he drives ahead.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, you don't want to get separated from the boat.
Yeah, well, he drives. I can take a like scope out the thing with my scanner and use like with a survival roll or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look at the damage on the boat from like a structural side, and you can look at the trees for material. Because I mean, you're Death Worldy. You probably know the local material composite better than I do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So, who would you want to pilot the boat while you were inspecting it, Watchmaker?
That's a good point.
I'll drive the boat.
Do you have an autopilot?
You can hook something onto the steering wheel that would keep it pointed straight ahead.
This would also require a roll.
Are we at a straightaway in the river, though?
It looks more or less straight from what you can see. You could make like a survival roll to get.
You could get Gar to just stand there with his hand on the tiller. Tell him not to touch anything else.
I guess I can try a survival roll. See how straight the river is.
It's a combination of both finding like making sure the river is straight enough, as well as making sure that there aren't any funky currents or any other rocks you have to worry about. Gar would be able to, if Gar wanted to, he could just like stay at the steering wheel or the wheel ship, and he wouldn't have to make like a operate surface vehicle test unless it was something that was like really required, like some fancy.
I think if I have to do anything other than stand there and keep the wheel straight, I
yell for help.
We're in danger. All right, I'll roll for. So I'm rolling the survival for what? Scanning the trees and shit.
Yeah, you could add the scanner to it. because it would give you an idea of like the tree composition. All right, so what would that be with the scanner?
That would be. This is a survival with the scanner, right?
Yeah. So just add the scanner's bonus to it.
All right, let's see. 20.
Just because it makes sense in this case.
Yeah, that's why I was making sure. Let me check my. I believe that's 40 versus an 81.
Okay, so you're able to scan the trees and get a good idea of what the trees are like on this planet. They grow rather rapidly, so you're able to scan and see that the trees themselves are relatively young for trees, being only about a decade or so old, and that they tend to grow rather quickly. So if you wanted to, and they're also very kind of flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So they if you got like branches that would be about yay thick, those would be very flexible. The trunks are much thicker. Like they're about like you could like hug them and just touch the tips of your fingers together. So you're able to get a good idea of like what the trees are like. So if you wanted to, you could attempt to hack some down to use the trunk and the branches and the vines to help with the repair.
What would hacking entail as in a role?
I mean, it's a tree, so it wouldn't necessarily be able to run away or like dodge around. So you really wouldn't need to make. I would say it would be a strength roll to see how easily you can hack through it and without getting tired. With guards like chain axe and your power sword, I mean, power swords aren't really meant for chopping a tree apart.
Yeah.
They can go through some pretty high bullshit armor.
They could go through some pretty high armor, yeah. So it wouldn't be meant to chop a tree down, but it would be good. Yeah, it would be just a flat strength roll.
Okay.
Be a flat cat.
Wow. Seriously.
Gar, you're actually able to chop through. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to stop the boat and then have Gar or Tigo and somebody else head over to the like one of the the bank of the river and start chopping down a tree?
Well, first let's wait on before we do that on what Watchmaker check of the damage, like what we need.
Okay. So Watchmaker is going to head down to the ship, and he's just going to take a look at the repair, especially now that it's daytime, and there are portcullises that you can get natural light through, so you're able to see it a lot better than just having like the kind of dingy, whatever kind of light they would use, not LED, but like.
Cell phone camera lights.
Yes, whatever fancy like 40K light they would use, but
I am taking a selfie with this leak.
So you're now able to get a better idea of it. So go ahead and make what would the roll be for this one?
Scrutiny?
I guess you could
Survival?
do. Yeah, you could do like tech use or survival. You could do either of those two. Scrutiny would be more like talking to it, but
Yeah. I'll try survival then.
okay.
Okay, that's 64. Damn it.
Okay, it's stuck on there. That's about all you can tell. It's stuck on. It hasn't fallen off yet.
Okay. How about like Imperial Guard, vehicle field repairs? Those would definitely be in my wheelhouse.
So yeah, that would be a tech use. You could do a tech use at a +10 for just because you would have an idea of how to do like the ad hoc kind of repair on vehicles.
All right, I will try that. That would be against a 41.
I thought you had some tech use thing like that made it easier to do tech use stuff.
Maybe I do. Let's take a look.
I thought you had like an Omni tool or something.
Oh, I do have the combi tool, yeah.
Combi tool, there you go.
So that'll put it at 51.
Okay.
Because my intelligence is only, middling. That's my final fate point for the session.
Wow, that's impressive. Crit fail to a crit success. Okay, so you
Good use of it.
Yeah, you are able to see that the water is starting to leak through like the wood scraps you've put on. It's causing like the wood to just like absorb a lot of water and swell. The foam wasn't really applied as it was applied very quickly and not as properly as it should have, so it is starting to like peel back, and you do see the wood is starting to bulge a bit. Because of how good the roll is, you can identify that it's probably going to fail within the next hour.
So that's a thing to fix. Can I get a better idea aside from the timeline, or just that that's about how long we've got?
That's what you can figure out, that it's going to fail within an hour's time. Probably closer to the hour than away from it. So you'd be able to guess probably within about like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. I'll relay this. Foam is starting to fail because it was a patch job in the first place. We've got maybe 45 to an hour. What do you got for us?
If you want to pull over and we take these trees down.
All right. We're going to have to.
Gar and I will just go ramble.
How long into his sleep shift is Otto?
It's been about 2 hours.
Would he want us to wake him up, do we know, or do we just kind of leave him?
He
That's
did
up to
drive
you.
into a rock.
He did drive into a rock, that's true.
Yeah, well, let's leave him. He's had a bad time.
Yeah. He needs a nice, peaceful sleep for the first time in his life.
Do you just tuck him in, just like kiss him gently on his forehead?
Yeah, kiss him on the forehead.
You know what? Give him a fucking 40k teddy bear.
Yeah, we give him like a teddy bear that's got like fucking flak armor on. It looks like an Imperial Guardsman.
You squeeze the teddy bear. The planet cracked before the guard did. Which actually hasn't happened to your timeline yet, but...
Good.
So do we just start chopping these trees down then?
Alright, so do you... Yeah, so how are you going to do this? Are you going to like... Well, yeah, how are you going to get from the boat you're on now to the
How close can we get
bank?
before?
So right now you're about a 30 meter, like, the river is about 30 meters deep in the center. As you approach, it is going to rapidly
Decrease?
Yeah, to the point where you want to be probably be about 5 meters from like bottom of the riverbed to the boat's keel would be considered safe distance. And then you could push it even further, but the boat drops about 2 meters below the water.
Okay. I guess if we can get there safely. And then are we taking down the branches of the actual tree in its entirety?
If you wanted to take on the entire tree, it's going to require more strength tests. It's just you don't have to climb it. If you want to take down just the branches and vines, you'd have to climb the tree in one way or another, and then those would just be it would be another strength test, but it'd be relatively easy compared to like the entire tree itself to hack them down.
Probably worth doing.
Just the branches and stuff? Or the whole tree?
I would say like the branches and vines, because
Okay.
the branches are more elastic. That's good for hull material. And the vines will kind of help shore up and reinforce stuff. Like, I think those will pay better dividends than like trying to machine down an entire tree trunk.
Okay, let's do that then.
And I will be right back.
So Stratford, Tessian.
All right, so well, let's start with the boat. So you want to bring the boat closer to the bank of the river, where
Yeah,
you
where
can.
we can reach a majority, like a good, I guess, amount of vines and branches.
So how close do you want to do it? Do you want to have it where it is about, let's say it's like 10 meters from the shore,
Mm-hmm.
with about a 5 meter difference between the um, the bottom of the river and the hull of the ship, or do you want to get even closer?
If it's the 10 meter, how much stretching or whatever do we have to do to get these vines?
Uh,
Or is it they're right above us?
no, you would definitely need to get closer. So if you got close enough, you could climb onto the like where Otto was like piloting the ship and kind of like climb on top of that structure and attempt to chop them down that way. But you'd risk beaching the boat.
Let's not do that.
Okay.
So 10 meters and boat over.
So yeah, so if you bring the boat within like 10 meters of the riverbank, and then drop the anchor, you could take the little inflatable from the boat to the actual trees themselves.
Okay.
Okay. And if you want to just chop down the branches and vines, go ahead, make an athletics roll to climb up the tree. I think it's athletics.
Oh Lord.
Yep.
Let me find my. There we go.
Unless you had something that you could use to climb, or. But if you just wanted to like climb up the tree itself, that would just be athletics.
Would it be? I think Matt has that thingy.
Yeah, Matt. So you're currently the boat is anchored about 10 meters from the bank of the river, and Tigo has gone to chop down some of the branches, and he's trying to figure out a way to get up a tree to actually chop them down.
Yep, because I have to do athletics or acrobats or something or backflips and
Some way to get on, like from ground.
Could we do a boosty, and maybe make some pittons to put into the trunks of the trees as climbing points?
If you wanted to, somebody, I don't know if it would be Gar or Watchmaker who would want to assist Tigo with like climbing if they wanted to.
You can stand on Gar's shoulders.
I could do well. Can I do a survival roll to make like a makeshift? What are those things called? You know, like when they do the window washers and shit.
Yeah, some method of like
like
some way to like climb the tree and have something you could stand on
and not fall.
I do have my grapnel in line, so I could actually either give it to you or I could climb up myself.
How if he lets me use it? How would that work? Do I have to do a?
It's basically like the bat grapple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just shoot it up there and go.
You would shoot it up. So you'd have to make a ballistic skill test to see. It wouldn't necessarily be.
I could probably shoot it for you.
And then you would just flip a little switch and it kind of like brings you up. I think it says it hooks onto like a belt or something, so it makes it like really easy to actually like.
Yeah, it's like a like what they use to do SWAT repels.
Okay, so if Matt's gonna shoot it for me, let's do that, I guess.
Yeah,
I did have one realization while I was away.
Yes.
Isn't this going to be another thing where the Inquisition comes to pick us up in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, so you were told, Selena Escher at the start told you it was going to be a 2-week trip from before she would be back to get you. Now, you had been on the planet for...
this is like day 4 right now. When we get back,
I think
it'll
a
be
bit more
week.
than that because of the
No,
trip
it's like,
there.
it's like day 5.
So when we get back, it'll be like a week, and we have to survive a week.
Yeah, we have to hold off the orcs and the crew, whatever's left of them, for a week.
Yep.
Huh.
Well, the good news is we fucking sabotaged them early on, so that will help us in the long run.
Now the next step is to get there in one piece with a boat.
I wonder if we could like make or set up like a bridge for them to cross over so they meet each other again to whittle their numbers down further.
That would require the whole tree to come down.
A narrow bend in the river.
Yeah.
So you want to take the tree down and make a bridge?
Let's get. Yeah, I mean, if we got to take the whole thing down to do that anyway, we'll take off all the branches and vines for repairing the ship, and we'll take the log to. Like we could probably just dead ass tow it behind us, or tow it from the pontoon boat.
Okay.
And then when we get to a narrow bend in the river, we can jam it so it makes an impromptu bridge. Does that make sense, Ian?
Yeah. So the trees you can see are about 10. They're about 8 to 10 meters high, varying between like the different trees. From what you remember on the river, you would probably need at least like a 25. Actually, very quickly we can take a quick peek at the actual river section. I was
gonna say the bend is coming up.
How long did I actually make this?
Oh shit, we got one more thing we got to do if we have the time.
Actually, that was like 50. That was like a 50-meter cross. Yeah. So it would be about a 25. No, actually, I think I said 30. So the river at the narrowest was 30 meters.
And these are
8 to 10 meters. So, but these are the ones closest to the shore. If you wanted a single tall tree, you could head further into the jungle because it doesn't require a roll because it's very easy to eyeball it. You're able to see that as you head further into the jungle, the trees get taller.
That seems like suicide, but we may not have a choice.
Thinking.
So okay, I think what we should.
No, I was gonna say, are we gonna knock the tree down, then take the branches and vines, or do the vines and branches first?
If we're gonna drag a thing through the jungle, we can't. Also, what are we gonna drag a 20-meter tall tree through the jungle with? If we go in deeper to get it,
we can use the vines to like tie these
to like make
together.
A harness, and then we could team there. But I realized there's one other thing we got to keep track of. I think we should pull the boat over completely and stop for a little bit and catch some fish to give to some of the hostiles near the river bend, so we can get them, if not on our side, we can keep them from trying to kill us. You know what I mean?
So do we want like 2 of us to take down trees and the other one to fish?
I think so. Maybe take 2 smaller trees that are near the riverbank rather than one big one that's deeper in.
Yeah, let's clear out near the river.
I mean, we don't have to make like a perfect bridge. We just kind of have to lead the horse to water and let the 2 armies, do that themselves.
All right. So I have the highest strength apparently.
Yeah. So I'll fish maybe with Gar or Otto's help.
Okay.
And then the 2 of you can.
I feel like you and Otto should fish, and Gar and I can take down trees pretty fast, since I think Gar has higher strength than you.
Right now, we still have the repair breaks after an hour, so we need to prioritize the tree at the same time we're doing this.
All right.
So you 2 should probably go straight away to work on the trees to get the supplies to repair the ship.
All right.
So what we should probably do is just very quickly cut down a couple of trees and then use the chain axe and the power sword to hack off the vines and branches and bring those back. Then we can go grab the tree trunks and tow them after we've patched the hull. And while you guys are getting the trees, I'll get fish so we have tribute.
All right.
And I think we still have a little bit in the fridge because we rolled well on fishing.
Yeah, I think you have like 2 left.
Yeah.
So
sounds right.
Are we at the point where Otto threw it to them?
No, you are. I believe that happened the very first day you were on the river, and.
So that would happen the next day.
Yeah, so you have one more night, and then it's the very next day or early morning. So you have one more night before that occurs.
Okay. So we've got an emergency supply, but we should probably try to get some more fish if our timeline looks good for doing that. We might be able to do that after we patch the hull. Maybe we should do all hands on deck for hull repair. And we should also, keep watch on the ship itself, especially if Otto is still sleeping.
Yep.
Okay, I'll watch from the boat. I'll be on guard while you guys get the trees.
All right.
And then once we get them back and get the repair sorted, then we can,
Wake Otto up.
yeah.
That'll be like
and
4
we can
hours, I
start
would assume.
fishing.
It's been 2 hours when Watchmaker investigated the repair.
Yeah, I'm saying like once
Yeah.
we've got the repair going and everything's set, it'll be 4 hours.
It will at least be 3 because that's when you know if it's going to fail.
Yeah,
As for how long the
that's why-
repair takes,
Yeah, once the
Yeah.
repairs are done, I would say like
it depends on how long the repair is going to take. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we can't cross that bridge yet because we don't know.
at least 4 hours total before Otto wakes up the earliest.
All right.
Right.
So
Look at us, so considerate giving this man 8 hours of sleep.
The boy needs it. He's had a
Yeah.
rough, like, 20+ years.
Yeah.
All right. So I will
Like,
do.
slept the whole time.
So I will do strength for the tree.
All right. So are you chopping down the
Yeah.
entire tree?
We're gonna need the whole tree. So
This
we might as
jungle
well.
will fall before our holy zeal.
I assume the whole tree since we're gonna need them anyway.
Yeah, because we only want the branches and vines for the repair, but we want the trunk to set up a bridge to encourage the Kroot and the Orcs to fight each other again.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right. So you're gonna find So you look for a tree that has like lots of branches, lots of vines. You find like about a 10-meter tall one. So if Tigo and Gar are working together, you can go ahead and make a strength roll with a +10 because you're helping one another.
Yep.
And you both be able to make that roll as well. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
strength.
strength.
I feel like Gar is singing like a timber song of the God Emperor doing this.
Yeah, Gar is just not that used to like chopping down a tree, but
He
He's
needs
gonna get
something that
back.
screams to feel at home.
Tigo is. And so while Gar is able to like get his chain axe into the tree, it's mostly just going kind of like up and down as opposed to like biting in, and it is just like kind of caving it in. But Tigo, you're able to like see a good spot that Gar's made, and you're just able to take your like power sword and just
Yeah.
slash right through it, and timber
I
slams.
I help Gar with
Yeah, it just right into the bank of the river. Easy, like branches and vines that are further up are easily accessible now.
and we got it.
Gar
Want to get
forgot
another
his
one?
chain oil and hasn't got enough blood on the axe to lubricate it.
Exactly.
We'll work on that.
Another
Don't you
tree?
worry.
So yeah, so you have easy access to that. So that took about 15 minutes to do though, which is pretty impressive considering how thick that tree was. But
Another tree then, or do you want to? Is that going to be enough stuff?
you could go ahead and make a survival to go and collect the branches and vines.
Dang.
You get a couple. You only get a few. But yeah, Gar is there helping you, so he'd be able. Yep, only a couple. You're able to get 2 decent-sized branches and about 5 good vines.
All right.
So yeah, you're gonna have to take down another tree, I think.
Another tree. Here we go.
Nice. All right, yeah. And then Gar, it doesn't matter really with the good roll. So Gar, once again, it's like the chain axe just hasn't tasted blood of like heretics for a while. The
Yeah.
machine spirit's getting cranky.
A little rusty.
But Tigo is able to just knock down another tree with a power sword, just
Another survival.
and just chop that thing down. So yeah, go ahead and make another survival roll to. All right, and you are able to get a dozen good branches, 30 good vines. So about 30 minutes has passed since Watchmaker has looked at the repair and investigated. You have about
Ship back to the boat, then.
you have so you have 15 minutes.
So survival for this.
Well, right now
Or is this?
it is still below the water line. So if you pull this off, water is going to seep in. You have the pump, but the cut is deep enough that you're pretty sure that it's going to like fill up faster than the pump can drain it.
So, where would we want the boat then to repair this? Closer to land?
If you brought it closer to land, it would be... You could get it onto like closer to the bank so that the hull of the boat, like the underside of the boat, is resting on ground enough that it's pushed up above the water line.
Is this something we want to do?
Might be.
Well, you're the better driver, so.
Yeah,
I think we definitely will need to stop to effect the repair, so it might be a good idea to just get it all out of the way in one go.
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right, so if Watchmaker would like to move the boat from its current position 10 meters away from the actual bank, just kind of like slowly bring it to the bank itself. Go ahead and make a operate surface vehicle test.
All right, I will do that.
He's got 2 spotters.
That's normally good, but just not in this case.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, surface vehicle. Oh, balls. I'm actually not good at that because it's, once again, intelligence.
I thought it was agility, really?
Operate surface vehicle? Oh yeah, no, you're right, it is. That's good. I was looking at navigate surface. Okay, so yeah, I want blah, 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 blah. Surface agility, trained 46. Please don't fumble. Okay, that's the opposite of a fumble.
All right.
He goes all the way.
That's a really good roll. So as against a 46, so that would be 5 degrees of success. So yeah, Watchmaker is able to very quickly, takes just a minute to get the boat to just kind of slowly press against like a softer part of the ground enough that it kind of pushes the scrape up above the water line, and so it really is just touching like the bank now. If you were to stand on the bank, you'd be able to reach out both hands and touch the outer hull of the ship itself, but it is above the water line. And
Nice.
from seeing it from the other side in the daylight, you can see that it is a pretty nasty cut that just kind of like scraped, yeah, like 6 feet, 2 meters. Well, 2 meters is longer than that, but it definitely does not look good. But it's above the water line now. Even though you don't have to worry about it failing and flooding the ship anymore.
Good.
And so, in this case, you want to see to actually repair it. So, this would be, yeah, you could do like an extended test, an extended survival test, extended tech use with like a negative.
Alright.
Or if you had like a crafting skill that would affect this, you could use that as well.
Survival for me. It's my best.
Yeah, unfortunately, survival is still my best bet. I guess I could try trade armor.
That.
I guess that's
not
specifically
in
supposed to be
this
guns.
Case. Yeah, this would be
Yeah.
for guns.
So yeah, it's just survival.
Okay.
So.
Fuck. Well, it's extended.
It's extended, so just you have to get 5 degrees of success.
Nice. Well, mine is versus 64, so that's good. 64, 54, 44, 34.
That's like 1
That was
degree
4
right
right there.
Okay.
That mine is 1,
I
think. Let me see.
Alright, well, it's acting against one or the other, so while Watchmaker is able to kind of do his, like, remember his ad hoc fixes for Imperial Guard vehicles, Tigo's never really been in a boat before and kind of just undoes a little bit of Watchmaker's work, but that's...
I undid it first, just so you know.
Yeah, what Tigo, instead of like kind of like chipping away the ad hoc, like the first repair, he just kind of rips it off.
Oh.
And then Watchmaker's like winces.
It's like stealing. It's like ripping a scab off.
And then Watchmaker just presses on like some wooden line and just kind of like takes hammers and nails and starts putting it back in.
Quickly improvising.
And then that second roll, that 68 was against a what now?
That's 69.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
All right, so
Shit.
four to succeed, one against, and then another. So you're at +4. So you just need one more success.
What are we trying to succeed at?
Fixing the boat.
Survival.
Hey, you know, maybe I'll roll a 1.
Maybe something good will happen.
We're in danger.
Call the police.
Yeah, it
Oop.
did.
What's that survival against, Gar?
Nothing. It's against nothing. Actually, 36 is my perception.
So we're what at 2 now?
I think you only go back by 1 in this case.
I guess I
Um,
can hit the button. I'm scared to hit the button.
Hit the button.
I hit the button.
Okay, there you go. So that's enough, especially because it's against a 69. So yeah, you're able to quickly fix the rest of it. And so working both on the inside and the exterior, you're able to get enough wood, vines, and the onboard equipment for actually doing repairs, and you're able to get the hull of the ship repaired pretty decently. You're not sure how long it would last long term, but you know it would be enough to survive the next few days, like to get from where you are to Otto's dock without any trouble.
Good.
Do we have any extra supplies just in case?
Yeah, you still have a few supplies left. You
Okay.
were able to roll, like, on the first survival to actually, or, well, I guess the second after you chop down the other tree, you're able to roll so well that you were able to get enough vines and branches to keep in just in
Okay.
case.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that was what I was worried about. So what about those 2 trees that are stripped?
So you have two 10-meter tall trees that are currently felled and are lying on the shore.
And
That's
how
what
long
runs
is...
on drag them with the boat.
Yep.
Okay.
So you want to wrap vines around them and just kind of drag them towards the boat?
Yeah, maybe we can use the pontoon to drag them behind the ship until we get to a bend in the river where they'll help kind of naturally form the bridge at the narrow bend. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the narrow bend, yeah, it's 20 meters long, or at 20 meters wide at the shortest point. So you would need to attach the trees to one another.
Or
Yeah, what we can do is use some vines to lash those.
That are like really convenient rocks in the river. It would have to be in just the right place to wedge the trees.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to tie the two trees together with the vines?
I guess, yeah, let's do
That
it.
might be... The orcs might go for it. The crew might not. Unless we can... Can we make it look like maybe that was part of us trying to fix the boat? That when we tried to tie them together, but then we abandoned that and then just strip them of vines and branches? So it
That
doesn't
would-
look like it's us intentionally making a bridge. It was us trying to do a fix and aborting it.
That would probably be a deception roll using, or a deceive roll, but instead of fellowship, it would probably be, you could use like agility or intelligence.
I would do agility if I'm the one who has to make that roll. I would still be at a -20 because I don't have deceive trained.
I have Deceive trained. What would you...
Car's dumb as a brick and not agile.
I have Deceive trained. So I would break even. So it would be at a 41. But does a
Alright.
freaking master... If I use a Master of Disguise, it'd be a 51. the freaking disguise kit. What the... I see. I guess I could use a disguise kit to make it look more
Let's see
Repairy.
here. The disguise kit.
doubtful, but I'm really pulling at
I mean,
like...
maybe with me directing and you kind of doing the practical application of what I'm suggesting between the two of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's see here. No. In this case, the disguise kit only contains stuff for looking like somebody else. Even the basic makeup really wouldn't be enough. Like, maybe if you had like 10 disguise kits, you could like use enough basic makeup to really change the trees. But
Paint
well,
some-
right now you still need to get the trees connected to your boat.
Yeah, let's. I think that trying to deceive them is
Overkill.
overkill. A layer too
Yeah.
thin. I think they're either going to use it or they're not.
True.
So let's lash some trees together, tie them to the boat, and roll.
And then go, yeah.
Okay.
Fair
So
play.
you want to tie the two trees together like end to end?
Yeah.
Or near to it. Like if
I
there's
forget
like
what kind
a
of lashing one does because it's been far too long since lashing. But
if
Let's
there's
be honest.
if there's like a branch
like
where like
that.
this is the hang on, let me look at my own camera so I can make sure I'm showing you what I think I'm showing you. If like my hand is the tree and then this is like the cut off branch from where we cut it off, like kind of interlock them like that and then do the X vine tie.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead, make a strength roll to kind of like roll the tree to the point where it would be like top of one tree against top of the other tree. So they'd like have the chopped off branch sections would be close to one another.
I am strong.
Okay.
Getting there.
Well, that was at a +10 for assisting one another.
I
Yes.
didn't put a +10, but yeah, sure. So he makes it, and I.
Okay, yeah. So you are able to. The ground's soft enough that you're able to roll it without too much trouble, and are basically able to pivot the tree and roll one tree, like the end of one tree away, and like towards like it. So both of the top parts of the tree are like next to one another. And if you want to, because you have time to make the survival roll, I'm going to give you a +20. Yeah, working together and with the taking time to actually tie the two trees together with the vines, you can go ahead and make a +20 roll to see how well you actually lash them together.
I shall assist with this if possible.
Okay.
This is also on strength,
This would be your survival.
survival.
Plus
okay.
20 for me, so that would be versus 84. Nice.
Oh.
20.
D100. Oh, come on.
D100.
I cannot help.
Oops.
So minus will give me 46. This is-
Rip in peace, as it
Okay.
were.
So Watchmaker.
What am I?
Wow. Watchmaker, you tie
Wow.
you tie your vines together with a nice big bow, like you were tying a giant
I did
shoelace.
good. Everybody
That
else
was
is like,
like-
the fuck?
Hang on a minute.
You got a minute? I'm rolling on an
Hold my
81.
beer.
Yeah.
And suddenly Gar has these trees just all tied up.
So.
Shut up in Shibari. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? I thought we were cool.
The God Emperor doesn't say I can't. But considering how Watchmaker didn't fail by much, and Tigo and Gar got really good rolls, so they're able to get like these tight square knots that are not gonna like, as the trees pull against one another, the knots are going to only get tighter, and are able to use quite a few vines to do this. And so you get it pretty secure, you feel,
Wait,
and can just kind of like working together roll the trees into the water and tie them to the back of your boat. So that's gonna stay. You use one vine. Actually, you would probably use two vines against one of the bottom of the tree, and are just kind of tying them to like one vine to one side of the like boat, one to the other, port, starboard, and but your boat is still more or less beached. But if you wanted to, because Watchmaker had done such a good roll with actually beaching the boat, you would still have the motor deep enough into the water that you could attempt to use a operate surface vehicle roll to get it out from there, as opposed to having to worry about pushing it out or doing something else to get it out.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So if he fails, we'll just try and push.
It's like the ghetto of your nearby town. Let us see the operation roll.
Right. Fucking.
Doom.
Agility base, right?
Yeah, that's what you rolled last time.
Ah.
Watchmaker, you're able to like get the ship out a little bit, but it's still mostly beached. You're only really able to get like the back end of the ship, of the boat away from the actual shore. So it's still pretty stuck.
Car's gonna hop out and give a great heave.
Okay.
Heave!
And
Damn.
God must be with Gar, because he just shoves the rest of the boat off. The sand that it was sitting on kind of just crumbles away, and
Son.
it is able to, and the boat is free again, and it is able to be piloted away from the shore.
Quick, somebody throw Gar a rope now, because...
You still have your little Zodiac to get on.
Okay, good. Because Gar will sink straight to the bottom of the river.
That's
There's no
true.
Good.
But I do recall that Tigo had used the little inflatable to get from like the boat to the actual shore itself before Watchmaker had actually beached it.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
you are able to get back on the boat. You have these two logs tied to each other, tied to the end of the boat, and you have effected some pretty decent repair. So altogether, you have probably used up about. Yeah, I think Tico had it right. So it was about 4 hours of
Time
cutting down
management
the
at its
tree,
best.
repairing the boat, tying the trees together, and tying it to the boat. So yeah, it's been about 4.5 hours with all that together. But you are free to continue. And actually, so at this point, Otto is waking up because he got a good 6-hour nap, my standard nap, in there, and looks at these two trees coming out of the back of the boat. Heads down below, looks at the repair, comes back up. All right, looks like we're ready to keep going.
How did you do to my boat?
How you feeling?
Not as tired. His head's clear after. I can't remember the last time I felt like my head being this clear.
Weird feeling.
That's good.
It's just like coming out of like a thick fog. I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to leave this planet.
Well, that's good because
We're gonna want to.
yep. We've
Figure
got
that ride isn't showing up for a week, so
yeah, I'll give him the rundown on the situation on how we're gonna have to deal with the orcs and Kroot. We're gonna have to hold out for about a week, and what we're doing.
All right. Well, I guess no time like the present.
Onward.
Heads back up to the top of the boat, kicks the motor back on, kicks on the full, and starts to head up the river. And it's been about 2 hours now, so I think it's a good spot to stop, and we'll pick this up next week.
Yes.
So 2 hours of play. Let's see here. Yeah, you're able to actually pretty decently slow down the orcs and the crew, but not bad. So yeah, 200 XP for this, and we will should be able to finish up the mission next week.
cool.